Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back for another video. So for today, I'm super excited because I'm launching the beginning of my Boss Babe series. I was asking you guys on Twitter, kind of talking about some previous video topics that I've done, asking what you'd want to see a full series on or what videos you would want to see expanded. And so many of you guys said budgeting, organization. I also mentioned something a few videos back on how I bettered my credit, but I didn't really go too far into it. So a lot of you had wanted more of an explanation on that. So I've created a little Boss Babe series with a few videos I'm gonna be putting out for you guys, hopefully one every week, just regarding financial freedom and stability, how to support yourself, how to be a boss ass bitch, really just how to feel comfortable with your budgeting and any tips and tricks that I've learned along the way in life that I want to share with you guys, because I've mentioned before, doing the story times and the vlogs and all that on my channel is so much fun, and of course I'll keep doing that, but I do want to put out more videos that have really educational information, just anything that I've gone through or that I've kind of succeeded in life, I guess, where I can help you guys. Obviously myself, I'm still learning every day as well, new tips and tricks on how to budget and everything, but the stuff that I do know, I want to share with you. And I was so excited when so many of you said that you were interested and you wanted me to make this a series. So yeah, I'm stoked. Let's get into it. If you are new here, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you guys are interested in this series and seeing like a video a week about this, give this video a thumbs up for me. So I brought some materials that I'm going to share with you guys, including how I budget and kind of how I physically store everything in my house to make it easier. So the first thing that we're going to go into is my credit before we go right into the exact dollar amounts of how I personally budget my money, because I personally could not get a hold on my finances until I bettered my credit, because of course I couldn't get any type of credit card or anything like that. So I mentioned like 2 or 3 months ago in a video that my credit had dropped pretty low, probably about 2 years ago. And so many of you had said you were in the same situation and how to better it. So basically, I know I have a lot of viewers who are teenagers, or you might just be going into college and you might just be starting to get approved for some credit cards. So let me just tell you my personal experience, and hopefully you can learn from it. Do not do what I did. At one point, you guys had a credit score, I think it was like 455 of my lowest, which is so bad. Like, I don't even want to admit that, but I don't care. I would rather tell you guys and tell you how I got out of it. Right when I was 18, of course, you really start out with no credit, and to get your first few credit cards, usually if you have a debit or a savings account with a certain bank, like I personally have Wells Fargo, they'll approve you for your first card and they'll give you like $1,000 or $1,200 limit. So I got my first card with Wells Fargo. I believe it was about a $1,200 limit, and I was living in college at the dorms at the time. I can just say honestly up front, I spent all the money on that card probably within like 3 to 4 months. And of course, in college, I didn't have that much money to be able to pay it off. So that was something I actually had to pay off a few years ago, like a charged off amount, because I wasn't able to make the payments on time. And then I had another card through JCPenney's. That was like another one of my very first cards as well, which I believe was close to $1,000 limit as well, which I spent the whole thing on as well. Both of those which happened before I was 20. So those were just really, really bad financial decisions that I made, which I would never do again. But of course, when you're young and you need money, or you're just like shopping with friends and going crazy, and you're like, oh, I'll pay this off later. But then the payments continue to add up, and you realize you can't make those payments, so you don't make them. That is what hurts your credit the most. I believe I had about a 750, and my credit dropped all the way to 450 from both of those cards, not paying them off, and also putting the full amount on the card. Something that I read as well to completely better your credit, which has helped me, is you want to keep all of your credit card utilization at 4% or less. That's what all the credit bureaus tend to put in the category of excellent, which will raise your credit. So like right now, the credit card that I do have from Capital One, all I put on there is gas, and if I ever go to the grocery store for like snacks and like little things, I'll put that on there and I'll pay it off right away. Because if you do keep your credit card usage percentage under 4%, every single month it's going to raise your credit, which is great. Also too, whenever I was younger and I first got approved for those cards, I had no clue how important checking up on my credit was monthly and like literally weekly. Like even now, I check my credit now like every day, just because I want it to be back to completely perfect and I'm like obsessed. But if you check it weekly, that is super important. It will tell you everything of how you can better your credit, like what is still left on there, if you have balances from old cards from like years ago that you didn't know. Because I know a lot of my audience is younger and you guys literally just might not know the importance of this stuff now. Check your credit, you guys. Personally, I use Credit Sesame, so I've mentioned them probably in 2 or 3 videos back wherever I talked all about finances. I'll leave that resource for you guys down below. It's totally free. So if you've never checked your credit before and you just don't know the importance of it, or you're 17, 18 and you're just starting to build your credit, pause this video right now, click down below and just go to Credit Sesame and check your credit. Check like where your score is at on the realm of, you know, 400 to 850. I know tons of credit websites and apps which charge you monthly, or they charge you like a one-time to sign up. Credit Sesame is 100% free, you guys. You're gonna log in and it will tell you your score. And what I like about their website personally, because I've used a few, is that they don't just give you your score. They give you tips and tricks every single month on how to better your credit. Like, you'll scroll to the bottom and it'll give you like tips right there of which cards might be good for you to apply for based upon if your score is poor, average, medium, or best. Like, it'll find options for you guys for not only credit cards you can apply for, but just other like tips that you can do financially to improve your score. So it's completely free. I had mentioned that in another video as well, and I mentioned that I checked my credit daily, and a lot of you were like, how do you check it daily without it like lowering your points or without it charging you? So that is what I use. It's completely free. Overall, for me, how I was able to bump my credit up over 200 points from getting to the lowest it was is that I had to pay off those 2 credit cards, which I completely owed the full balance on, paid those off, and then I was able to apply for a secured card back when my credit was still pretty crappy. You can usually get one through Capital One. I know that they're the most popular for like secured cards on people with poor credit. But you do want to get something to start building your credit back up. So what they'll do with a secured card is they'll take $100 or $200 from your debit card balance. So you're putting your own money on the credit card, but then you'll just buy like gas and like little things and you'll pay it off every month, and that will drastically improve your score. I think that alone improved my score like 80 to 90 points, which is huge in the credit world. I mean, if you go apply for a car or apply for anything, having a credit score which is 80 points lower to 80 points higher is a huge difference. So I had to pay both of those off. And you guys, if you're worried about like owing so much money on a credit card and you can't pay it, I highly recommend you call them up, call the 1-800 number, ask if you can do payments. As long as you're paying something on there, your credit will go up. So don't feel kind of defeated of like, holy crap, like I owe so many thousands of dollars on cards, I don't have the money, I'm not even gonna pay it. At least call and ask if you can do like a monthly payment plan, because that's what I did with one of my cards a while back as well, and that drastically improved my credit. So getting both of those balances completely off my credit score and getting the secured card overall got me up like, I want to say over 150 points. And then also too, I used to be late on the car that I had like 3 years back, my old car, just because I didn't really have money at the time. Sometimes I would be 30 or 60 days late, and that makes a huge impact on your credit as well. So now that I'm able to make the payments every single month on time, I've seen my credit just slowly creeping up as well. So I would say it took me a good year. But whenever I had the money and was able to pay that stuff off and get the secured card, my credit went up so much. And you guys, you need credit for everything. You can't get approved for a car, an apartment, renting a house, buying a house, like getting a credit card for anything, for any store at the mall, getting a healthcare credit card if you want to get like a procedure done and you want to finance it. Like, you need good credit for everything in life. Student loans, like, just trust me, you guys. Check your credit. Again, I'll leave Credit Sesame below because it is totally free, and I just recommend you guys at least log on and see where your score is at and see kind of what your personal situation is. Because I just know that I feel so much better these days and so much more calm and just relaxed regarding finances now that I kind of have all that stuff in order. So yeah, I just really want to stress the importance on a good credit score. Like, you need it for every single thing in life. So for me personally, moving into financial stuff and how I budget my money, this is one tool I wanted to share with you guys. I picked up this little file folder at Target. I've seen a lot of other people's like budget videos on YouTube, and they have really expensive like office filing system situations. You know, this girl is on a budget, so I think I picked this up for like $8 at Target. I just got this one, so I don't have it labeled yet, but I wanted to show you. You get 8 little sections in there. It's kind of like a fan folder situation, and you can write on all the tabs. Just looks really cute as well. Then also, I do just have this regular pink folder. This is like a little picture that my son drew for me in school, like a watercolor painting. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put slip covers in here, and I also got these really cool tabs from Target as well, which you can write on every single thing that you need to budget out every month. I find personally, whenever I get bills and I just throw them around the house, or I don't know where I put them and I have nothing organized, I will freak out. I get so much anxiety. I feel like I don't know what bills I'm behind on. I just recommend that you get a little space in your house or apartment where you can keep everything together for your budget and your finances, any bill that comes in the mail. I feel so much better when I'm completely organized and on top of my bills, and when I know when everything is due. Just so you're aware of the date every month when a reoccurring payment is going to happen, or just anything. Number one tip is just to get organized. So I wanted to mention these. Then as for my personal budget every single month, I wrote down on my phone the categories of stuff that I have to pay, like bills that are mandatory every month. So whenever I get paid from anything, like with YouTube, I get paid usually between the 1st and the 5th of the month. I will take that money and I will put it specifically towards rent and the things that have to get paid before I buy anything whatsoever for myself. I will not buy any toys for Christian, any clothes for me, or like makeup or anything until I know that the bills that have to get paid are paid, just so nothing is behind, again, so I don't have any late payments, so nothing hinders my credit. So the things that are mandatory every single month for Christian and myself, the first thing is my car payment, then we have my car insurance, we have my rent here, and my renter's insurance because that's required where I live, my AAA roadside assistance, and then also the electric and the gas bill, which are both separate from my rent. I know some places like include it. Here I get a bill separately for everything, so I have to pay all three of those between the 1st and the 3rd of every single month. And then also my cell phone bill, my gas for my car, my credit card bill, and my internet bill. So those are the things. There's probably a few more, but those are what I wrote down, which are mandatory every month. And then also as well, I have an allowance for food, which is usually around $250 for the entire month. So around like 50 to 60 bucks a week for groceries. You guys know I definitely go budget-friendly places for our groceries, like Albertsons, Stater Brothers, Winco. I think those are all cheaper than like Whole Foods or something. If you can find the same products for cheaper, we already know like I'm all about that. I highly advocate budget-friendly stores. That's another thing. If you can get anything at the dollar store or like Burlington or Marshalls or Ross rather than somewhere in the mall or somewhere really expensive, that's another huge way every single month that I do save money. I'm just someone personally who likes to save money on a daily or weekly basis on little things so I can save more money on the back end for like bigger things that are important to me. Like recently I was able to get a new car after 5 years of having the same car, which had some problems, and I was so thankful to be able to get a new car. So like I would rather sacrifice every week shopping at like discounted grocery stores and like cheaper places like Ross and stuff, which still have super cute clothes and like name brands and stuff. But you know, it's a little bit cheaper than like the mall or shopping online all the time. I'm just someone who likes to save money every month like that, so I can put more money away for whenever I do want a big purchase. And like right now I'm looking forward to getting Christian some really cool stuff for Christmas and some gifts for him. So I've just been kind of being really mellow the past few months. Like I haven't really bought any makeup or anything just because I like to save up for what I know is important. But that's just me. These are all just like little tips that I use every day in our life to save money. And then I think I wrote down, what else did I write down here? So I put about $250 a month for food. And then I also put an allowance for Christian every month of $200, which just includes like clothes, any toys that he might want when we're out, any little snack I get him if he wants to go through Starbucks. 200 is kind of high. You could definitely have it at 100 or even 75. Like, I mean, you could even have a really low allowance for your kid, whatever you can afford in your monthly budget. I probably honestly don't even spend that much on him, but I know when we go out to Target and like Ross or whatever, if I'm buying something and we go in the toy aisle, of course I just always want to get my little man something. But yeah, those are all the categories of stuff that I have to pay for that are mandatory. So with my budgeting, I will pay all of that off before I even think about getting myself any makeup or anything that's like that I want, but that's not necessary. So my biggest tip with the budgeting is just to really get your credit better so you're able to then get approved for a credit card down the line. So if you ever do get in financial trouble, you can use that credit card, and you do need a pretty good or average score to be approved. So just be up on top of it on checking up on your credit, paying off your bills right away between the 1st and the 3rd of whatever is due. Even if you don't want to, pay off the stuff that's mandatory just so you can relax for the rest of the month and you don't have to feel like you're behind on any bills. Staying completely organized. I will continue to pick up a few more organization supplies for this series because I have a few other video ideas in mind for the next few weeks. But yeah, staying completely organized, and trust me you guys, you're gonna feel so much more happy and stress-free when you don't have any financial stress. I can tell you it's one of the absolute best feelings to know that I can support myself completely and my son with zero help from anyone else, and that I don't have any debt. That is probably just the greatest feeling, and like I just want everyone to feel that because I was in a really shitty financial spot for a good while there, and it's such a negative feeling feeling like you don't have money or that you'll never get out of the debt that you are in. Like, I want you guys to know I've been there and I know that feeling. I had those a little over $2,000 of that credit card debt that I told you guys, and then I had almost $4,000 of a student loan that I paid off completely on my own, no help from my parents or anything. So I know the struggle, you guys, like, trust me, I do. So I just want you guys to, you know, slowly be paying that off and feel better about your finances and everything, because it's just such a good feeling. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited about this series. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm sure this was a long video per usual, but I do have another video coming next week for this series, so let me know if it's something that still interests you guys and I will throw that up. Thank you so much for watching. I would love if you guys would subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye.